Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very quick video that I'm making. This is a tubeless rim, an Akront rim made in Spain actually, from a 91 GSPD, which has come in here to be refreshed and set up after a very long storage period. And it's not a 91, I think it's an 89 now that I think about it, because it does have chrome plated steel spokes in it. The front spokes were very rusty because the wheel has been stored out in the opening. You can see the condition of the front hub there. That's the back hub. There are lots of people who have lots of ideas about how these should be taken apart. This is my way. I'm not making any excuses for the way I do it. I'm sure there are people who can chew them out with their teeth. How you going, Gummy? And knock them apart with their bare hands, but I'm not one of them. So what I do is I use a bolt cutters. I don't use a grinder because I am very conscious of the expense and cost of these wheels and the increasing difficulty in finding them, although you can buy new ones if you have a kidney spare that you can sell. So I use a bolt cutters, and I just go through and cut the spokes off on both sides of the wheel about the length that you can see there. These spokes are corroded enough so I could spend hours with steel wool trying to clean them up to knock them out. What I find is easier is I just tap them backwards like that so that the heads are sticking out far enough, and you can see there that they are in nice condition. So I use the same bolt cutters to nip the heads off. There's some that I did earlier, and then I use a Dremel. There it is there on a cable. There it is there with a diamond burr in it, and I go around the nipples that I've cut the heads off and deburr the bolt cutter marks on there so that they're cylindrical and will go through carefully. And then what I do, and I'll just pause this camera for a minute and I'll show you how I get them out finally. So there's only one fellow in Australia that I know that I would trust to do these wheels, and he won't take them unless they're stripped. He's also told me that if I give his name out on Facebook, he will actually come and burn my shed down, so I'm not going to do that either. But to strip them, it is a bit of an art. Now these are three that I've cut the heads off. I've used the diamond burr to deburr the ends of them, and you can see in here that they're nice and shiny and they're not corroded like the spokes themselves. The front ones were in a very bad state indeed. And how I get them out is just simply this, with a big pair of old cheap nasty side cutter pliers and a little ball peen hammer. I just get them in there and I just give them a couple of whacks. And out they come. Sorry, I normally have this a bit better secured, but I had to move it to make a better movie. So you'll just have to bear with that for now. And then same thing again, and out they come. And one more. Now doing it that way, you don't get any damage at all to the wheels, and as you can see, even I can't manage to hit it with a hammer. As I said, I have a thing about sending work on these kinds of things to people who are specialists in them. They are known to be a very difficult thing to spoke, and I certainly am not a very good person at spoking wheels. I've had a few goes at it, and I'll leave that to the experts, as I leave anything at all that I think can be done better than me to a specialist, and I send my work to them and get it done properly, and that way my customers have a good and joyful run with whatever it is that we produce for them. These will be cleaned up and probably soda blasted, I'd say. The guy doesn't want a flash finish on them, he intends to ride it. And out of that, in a couple of weeks' time, they'll come back here and they'll be like new wheels. I hope that gives you a little insight into these. Please don't attempt to fiddle with these things unless you know what you're doing. They can be very dangerous indeed if they happen to break or let go. And it is not hard to crack these rims through the nipple hole. I've seen a few like that. It doesn't kill them, but they're tubeless rims with safety beads on them, so they require some special attention. I hope that helps. Stay well, ride safely, until we meet again.